That's better, right, babe?
Yeah!
Yeah. She founded an architectural concrete company.
He founded a $100 million clothing company.
She took the world by storm as a social media star.
He took the world by storm as a famous serial entrepreneur.
Together we started a business.
And had babies.
Now we're figuring out the best ways to do both.
Join us as we learn from other entrepreneurs going through the same life struggles.
As they share their life hacks about success, love, kids.
And everything in between.
I'm not gonna let it stop me. Quote by Tori Gerbig.
Welcome to this episode of the Pretty and Punk podcast. I'm Dan Caldwell, and I'm here with my beautiful wife,
Ildiko Ferenzi. You almost did it again, babe.
I was on a roll. I thought, I was just going. I was like, in it.
I could say my name. My goodness gracious.
Okay. I just think I say it better sometimes. Okay.
We'll let them decide.
Okay. We'll let them decide. Okay, you guys message us. Get to us, prettyandpunk.com. And, well, actually, it may be a good time to mention, I hope you guys are subscribed to our Pretty and Punk podcast. And we thank you so much for
the
doing so.
latest ratings and reviews. We appreciate it so much and keep it coming. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, we read those to all of our kids, and they love listening to those reviews. And especially the ones that mention Daniel, he loves that part. So if you say his name, he'll really love that. So before we get to our interview, have you noticed we are getting so many female entrepreneurs on this show?
Yes, I do, and I love it.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that we're having some really incredible female entrepreneurs on the show, and I think this is another one.
And one that was requested. I actually just discovered her through several of our audience members messaging us about her. So we reached out. And I did some studying. Like, she's got this incredible audience, die hard. So I cannot wait to get into this.
Incredible story, too.
I mean,
incredible in the way that, it goes to show you that, you don't have to know everything when you first get started. And I think that sometimes we always think that we have to have we have to know everything about everything when we start our businesses, know how to build the business, how to market the business, and know how to, everything about the product. And, sometimes we just need to get started.
Sometimes we are our own dead end. And this woman, she just started from scratch and she's at the top, guys.
And 5 years later, she's got this incredible, amazing $100 million business.
Yes.
So, without further ado, why don't you introduce our guest?
Oh, I'd love to. She made her online debut by selling odds and ends on eBay. Seeing that the woman's online boutique clothing space was underserved, she decided to build her own store. Within the first year of operation, the store was doing millions of dollars. Within 3 years, she was doing over $30 million in sales. 6 years later, they have over 200 employees. They've just built a new 160,000 square foot headquarters. She's been featured in Forbes, Huntington Post, Entrepreneur Magazine, named an Inc. 5000 company in 2018, and receiving the Bowling Green Entrepreneur of the Year award also in 2018. She's the wife to her loving husband, Chris, who is also the company's COO, the mother to her 3 beautiful children, Jackson, Riley, and Miracle Baby Reese. She is the founder and CEO in her incredible company, Pink Lily. Please welcome the beautiful Tori Gerbig.
Hi, Tori. Welcome to the Pretty and Punk podcast. We're so excited to have you on here today.
Yes, you've done such incredible things and so quickly. Our audience is going to get so much value.
Thank you all for having me.
Yeah, so let's just jump right into it. I know you just got back from Cabo, I believe. You were in Cabo enjoying the sun out there.
Yeah, we saw some footage. It was gorgeous.
Yes, it was a great time. We always have to go somewhere tropical for our spring photo shoot, and we happened to be gone the week of the ice storm. So I kind of felt bad posting behind the scenes because I was like, it's literally an ice storm at home, but it was beautiful.
You planned to go somewhere else before, right? And then all of a sudden you got news that you couldn't go.
Yeah. So we were going to Barbados originally. Every single February, we go somewhere. We've been to Punta Cana. We've been to Cabo, Miami, Tampa. Every February, we go somewhere. We have swimwear to shoot and lots of spring styles. So we were going to go to Barbados, but then they changed the quarantine restrictions and it was just going to be way too hard to travel there. So 2 weeks before we were set to go, we had to completely up and change to Cabo and connect with the flights and change 20 different flights. It was chaos.
Wow, but it looked so beautiful. Everything turned out fantastic. Look at you.
I don't know how we made it happen that fast.
It was meant to be.
Because that's what you do. You make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
For
So
sure.
let's go back to 2011, 12. How did you go from an eBay store selling these odds and ends
Like
online to this
Halloween masks.
to this huge company that has over 200 employees and has this new 160,000 square foot headquarters,
I love
which
the
it
name,
looks
by the
absolutely
way.
incredible.
Pink Lily.
Yeah, it's like honestly still looking back, I can't believe how it all happened. But basically my husband and I, we had our little 750 square foot home selling on eBay. We had one of our little office, which was tiny. It's smaller than my office now. And we were selling, like you said, Halloween masks. We had golf clubs and random stuff. And we just really discovered that we loved e-commerce. We really liked selling things online. I had a degree in personal selling and marketing, but I was selling insurance full time and I didn't really love insurance. I did it, great money, but I didn't love it. It wasn't a physical product. It wasn't something I could get super excited about. So once we started selling online, it was just so much more fun. And in 2011, we had the eBay store. We kind of paused it in 2012. My mom went through breast cancer. She had chemo and radiation. And then once we got, I got pregnant with my son. And then in 2013, when he was born on my maternity leave, we decided we'd dig back into it and get it going. So we started the Etsy shop at that point. And then I started a Facebook group from there and realized that the Facebook group took off so fast. These women were addicted to the clothes that I was posting. They were loving it like crazy. They were coming and shopping out of my trunk and they were coming to my house and we had racks all through our living room and kitchen. And we were like, we've got to just start a website. So that's just kind of how it happened.
That's insane. You do an incredible job at marketing, and it sounds like it started back then. I mean, that's what you majored in, right? In school, marketing?
Yeah. So I have a degree in marketing and a focus in personal selling, but marketing was the major.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you created this incredible community. I mean, till this day, they help you, choose your upcoming fashions and you involve them in the process. Like I've never seen anything like it.
Right. I feel like that's one of the reasons why it has been from the beginning so different. Because I've really never seen a brand do it either. You don't see Coca-Cola asking you what flavors they should carry or, what their brand design should be. You don't really see the behind the scenes of a brand. And from the very beginning, the customers have always been my number one focus. And so I want to take, their opinion into account when we purchase because we're purchasing for them. So our Facebook group does have over 100,000 people in the community. We have, on my Instagram, I do post behind the scenes and polls and I show them the buying process and I show them the design process and I really take them along because I don't want to design something or carry something without their thoughts and opinions in mind. So I do want to involve them as much as I can. And I feel like overall, that's really what has helped us stand out from other brands that just show up and don't show any of the behind the scenes or take that into account.
Yeah, no, I admire you for that. And it's funny because they tell you not to do those types of things, but you broke the rule. And I feel a lot of times with Dan and myself, we break the rules, but you're definitely a rule breaker and it's working so well. I love it.
I have people all the time. They're like, I wouldn't share that if I were you. I wouldn't share what you're buying for spring. I'm like, let them copy me. Let them try.
Something that you really couldn't do. I started a clothing brand also, and we sold in 2010, but that's something we couldn't do at that time because we didn't have that type of social media. And even when MySpace or something came along, when Facebook came along, it just wasn't, that's just not what people were doing. And it's not something that people did. So it's really, I love seeing people break out of that box and do things that are outside the box. Because there's tons of times people tell you what you can't do or what you shouldn't do, but they haven't done it either, so they don't really even know.
Exactly.
They don't know what that's going to look like. Is there somebody in your past that kind of drummed up this entrepreneurial bug in you? Is there somebody who influenced you in a way that, that you feel like you could trace those entrepreneurial roots back to?
Probably not the entrepreneurial part, but definitely the hardworking part. And both my mom, of course, I'm one of 5 kids, and she was a guidance counselor. She was my cheerleading coach. She always had odd end jobs to help pay the bills. We were just a, middle-class family I was always like begging for something. She's like, well, we can't really afford that right now. So more of just the hard work ethic than really being an entrepreneur, both her. And then of course my grandpa, he was a hard worker. He worked until the day he died. He was a bus driver. He was a teacher. He was just, the simple, hardworking man. So I feel like growing up between the two of them really had instilled just, you have to work hard and do, put your efforts in and make something of yourself. And even though neither one of them were self-employed, just that hard work that they instilled in me really kind of just kicked it off. And then from there, I listened to a lot of Dave Ramsey and random things like that whenever I was in college. And I was like, you know what? I want to make more out of my life than just working and making somebody else rich. So
yeah, that's great.
Fantastic. I love that. I mean, you can't get anywhere without hard work. It's so on point. Now, share with me something that stands out in your marketing that attributed to the growth of Pink Lily, because it's fascinating. Like when I was studying your story, it just grew so quickly. Like what worked for you?
So it's changed over the last 6-7 years so drastically. In the beginning, it was very organic Facebook and Pinterest. We had a lot of viral photos that had 400,000 and 500,000 repins, and a lot of just organic traffic in the beginning, because at the time we launched social media, Facebook and Pinterest were just really you could see that organic post. As that got harder, we shifted to more influencers, and then we got in right in the beginning more with that too, before any of our competitors or other boutiques. And we really built those relationships up with those influencers. So we've worked with some since, the beginning of 2018, and we've grown as they've grown. Their accounts, started with 100,000 and now they have 1.2 million. And we've just kind of stayed along with them for the ride as we've grown and they've grown and worked together. So I really feel like the second half of the whole time span, it's been more like influencer and affiliate growth. And in the beginning, it was just a lot of good organic traffic from Pinterest and Facebook.
Good for you. You just got on the train when it started. Because, the audience that doesn't know, you work with some of the biggest influencers, but you had established the relationship with them before they became these superstar crazy influencers that they are today.
And that relationship has really been very important for me. I have so many of their phone numbers. I'll text them, I'll talk to them outside of just Pink Lily and really build that connection, because they're working moms just as I am. And they put a lot of effort into their brand. And we want to make sure that, we're always working together and bringing together that customer and those followers and those fans and friends and bringing them along for the ride, and not just, treating it as a business deal.
Exactly. That collaboration is so important. You've built such beautiful relationships. Good for you. I applaud that.
What's one of the biggest challenges, or take us back to one of the biggest challenges that you've had in your business? Everybody has days that go wrong, but what's the big challenge, the one challenge that you almost felt like might stop the growth of your company, or maybe stop your company altogether?
Oh, I have so many.
That's true, right? We have to pull back the curtain, because looking at you, if you just look at your Instagram, you just scroll down your Instagram, right, you'll think, wow, anybody could do this. This is so easy. You just, open your eBay doors or open your Shopify store, and all of a sudden, boom, everybody's got smiles. And, that's not true. There are great days with big smiles and lots of money coming in. And then there's those days that aren't like that. Tell us about one of those days.
And how you got through it. That's so important.
I'm still trying to figure out how to get through it. But I would say first and foremost, when I started this company, I was 27. So probably just my lack of experience of running a company. I can sell and I can market, but I've never been in charge of 100 or 200 employees. So that was very, just a huge shift. I'm still learning every single day. We are a warehouse management team, our customer service team. A lot of these managers are older than me by 10, 20 years. And like, they're still helping me. Like they've come from big brands like Lyft and Amazon and some of these places. They're like, this is how we do it. I'm like, thank you. I appreciate you showing me how, because I'm young. I'm only, I'm 34. I've never ran a business outside of my own business. So I feel like just the lack of experience, it didn't stop me, but it has been very hard to really teach myself all these important things so fast, and how to do the HR, and how to do, the culture, and how, making sure everything is done legally, and just all of it, things that I would have never thought about if it was just me like running a business in my home. So I feel like that has come into play a lot with just my inexperience. But again, I'm always learning, I'm always training, trying to learn and get up to speed as fast as I can.
Give me an example of one of those days that you went home and you and your husband are just like putting your heads together going, what are we going to do?
Yeah. I mean, there's been so many. I know last year off the bat, definitely with COVID, of course, there was that issue. But besides the being so scared of like shutdowns and like having to lay people off, we actually saw a huge increase in orders about a month later. Wow. And we were stuck with, we're trying to hire people and nobody wants to work because everybody's scared to work, or they don't have to work because of government funding and some of this stuff. So we fell in the hole big time with orders, about probably 30,000 orders out. I came home and cried for like a week straight. I was like, we have so many orders, we have so many customers, and we don't have any employees, because the employees, they were really hard to recruit for during the peak of COVID. Yes. Nobody felt comfortable going and getting a job. So, I mean, most online stores had the same issue. There were shipping delays. There was all kinds of things going on. And I felt like probably if there for a month straight, it was the hardest time just to figure out how we were going to pivot, how we were going to keep up with demand, and, keep our employees safe and distance and, comfortable coming to work. So it was pretty hard to navigate through, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, those are hard times. I'm sure you would have jumped in a van and delivered the packages yourself if you had to, or you could, but you can't really, you got orders in California, probably all over the world, and it's not something you can do.
I spent an entire month out in the warehouse, like packaging and printing orders. And I was like, we're going to get caught up, I promise. And everyone was like, you're the CEO. Why are you out there doing it? I was like, because somebody's got to get help, get caught up. So we're going to lead the team to success. So we got through it. It's still hard to navigate through it, but here we are a year into this pandemic and we're still going. So
good for you. I get a lot of emails, or we both get a lot of emails about, parents saying that they want to start a business, but they can't because they have kids. What would you say were your biggest challenges, and how did you overcome it when you first had Jackson, and then you had your second child, and then even facing your difficulty getting pregnant, because you thought you were done after 2, and then you decided you wanted to build your family, and you discovered that it wasn't as easy as it was with the first 2. And my heart goes out to you for that.
Yeah, it's all been difficult, but I still wouldn't trade it for the world. When Jackson was born, I knew I wanted to be a working mom. I love my children so much, but I want to have a career and, do both. So I knew right off the bat that I was going to be a working mom. Whenever I was home on maternity leave, that really just brought it to light that I'm sitting here, working for somebody else. And that wasn't what I loved to do. So that's where I was like, you know what, I have the skills to do something else. So let me figure this out. But I did go back to work. I still sold insurance until middle of 2014. So my website was up and going for a while. So I would come home from work. I would play with Jackson. I would feed Jackson, put him to bed, bathe him, all the things. And then at nighttime, would do Pinkly and package orders and do customer service. So I was working 2 jobs for a while, and I just managed that. Then once I left, of course, selling insurance, and it was full-time Pinkly. It was Pinkly during the day, still kids at night, and then back to work after they go to bed. And that's still kind of how it is now too. I mean, we have a good balance, but I do think that it has its hard times. I mean, whenever I had my miscarriage, when I was going through IVF, I had it right here and I was at work. I mean, obviously I had to like get up from work and leave. And it's hard, being a mom and having a career. But I think that what drives me the most is to continue going to show other women, especially that you can have both and you can have, it can be a very successful career and you can be a good mom doing it too.
How did life change after Riley? Because I know that she was probably right in the middle of like monster growth. You guys are going through monster growth at that time. We saw something about how you were changing warehouses every year or every 6 months. And then all of a sudden you have Riley, your second child. And that must have, really, one child seems to be a little bit easier. You have kind of control of the situation. Two, now you're trying to figure out, one, is a little bit younger. She's doing one thing. I'm sure, Jackson's he's getting a little bit older. He's starting to walk. He's walking around at this point. So, he's doing his own thing. Walk me through, what were the challenges at that time right after having Riley?
Yeah, so that was 2015, and we were 1 year into the business. We actually ended up doing $12 million in sales in 2015, and I had Riley in April. My water broke at work. We were at a photo shoot, and I was like, okay, I think I have to go to the hospital now. I was scheduling Facebook posts from the hospital bed because I knew we had to have Saturday posts.
Oh my gosh,
this is awesome! I love this.
I had to come back to work after a week because I did all the social media. I had to do all the, I had to make sure that we were buying, and we were just honestly having at least 500 or 600 orders a day. And I was like, I don't get a maternity leave. So I did take a week off with her. It probably was the hardest time, definitely, because I was like, I can't take time off of her. There's not enough staff here. I haven't had time to really scale my employees and grow and build them up. And looking back, I definitely wish I would have, but we grew so fast that 2014 Q4 to Q1. And I was pregnant, during that time. And I just didn't know to hire enough people to help. But it was definitely a very challenging, I was exhausted, woke up all night with her to feed her, and then come into work, not having, a lot of help. It's not like we had a night nurse or anything like that. Like, we still had to get up throughout the night with her. I luckily sleep trained her by 10 weeks. I was like, you got to sleep. I got work to do tomorrow. But yeah, it was a challenge. She was very sick too. Her first year, she had double ear infection from like October to December. She had strep. She had to have ear
Plugs.
Tubes put in her ear in December. And then after that, she ended up getting like an infection, and she was on Christmas Day, she was on the hospital. So she was just a really like sick baby. So that made the struggles even worse because she was always, the daycare would call me like, she's got a fever. And my husband and I would have to take turns, like going to get her and leave work. And we're like, we need to be at work, but we need to take care of our child. So it was a very difficult time navigating through that. But that was probably the hardest year, I would say, because the growth was just happening so fast and we had this little baby to take care of. So it wasn't as much as like Jackson's first year when it was like a slower growth in the beginning.
Right. I wanted to kind of go back through that. So because a lot of our listeners are doing the same thing. They may not have businesses as big as you, but they're running small businesses. Mm-hmm. They have little ones. They're trying to figure out how to, juggle it all.
And I love that you didn't have a night nurse or a nanny. It was the same with us.
Well, talk us through how you used daycare. Like how did you utilize daycare? And you have your husband too. How are you doing all that and juggling all that and still trying to get work in too?
Yeah. So with Riley, she would stay home 3 days a week, and we would have a private sitter come to our house, and then she would go to daycare 2 days a week until she was about 2. Mm-hmm. And then my daughter Reese, now she's actually still home full time with a private sitter, just because of once the pandemic hit, I was like, I'm just going to leave her home until we decide what to do. So we do have a private sitter that comes, but of course there's always the occasions where the sitter's sick or the baby's sick and they have to leave daycare. So with that, a lot of times it's Chris, my husband, he works, here too. And it's who can go home, who has less on their plate today to be able to go home and take care of the kids. So we definitely try to split it up as evenly as we can. But sometimes there's just things that are on my calendar that I can't change. And so it's a little bit, occasionally it's easier for him to just step away and because he's not the face of the brand as well, as much as I am. So it is a juggling, but I feel like especially the last few years, we've given ourselves more grace. If we have to leave work because our child is sick, it's fine. The work will still be there when we get back. So
That's fantastic. Speaking of Chris, I love what you guys built together. I love that you guys did it together as a team, partners in crime. Dan and I get lost sometimes in business, and we have to really make time for ourselves to strengthen our relationship. What do you guys do to strengthen your relationship to keep it strong?
Yeah, not probably enough as we wish we could. But we do try to take, like when I go to LA for work, he'll try to tag along with me and we'll go to dinners at night and just have time without the kids, here and there. It's really rare we do take a trip together, but we do try to make sure that we have it on the calendar to have a date night a couple of times a month and get a babysitter. I'm trying to convince him to go somewhere for a few days, but we both get scared of leaving the kid. Like it's hard to
I totally get it.
Kids. Yeah. So we definitely just try to get that date night, and then of course we do what we can to just communicate and talk as much as we can after the kids go to bed and it's just the two of us and we're hanging out, in the living room and talking and stuff. Usually it's business talk, but still it's a little bit more one-on-one talk and not having kids climbing all over us. So
do you find being partners sometimes is hard? You guys are seeing each other all the time. And we should mention, I believe he's the CFO or COO of the company. So you guys are seeing each other at work. You're seeing each other at home. Does that present any challenges for you?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like it's harder than not seeing each other at work. Like I would rather him be working somewhere else probably, but no, it's fine. A lot of times at work, there's certain days we don't even talk to each other because I'm doing my own thing. I work with the marketing team. I work with the buyers. I work with the customer service side. He works more the financial side and the operations. So there's plenty of times where we do not talk, at work as much. But then there's days like yesterday and today I went in there and we had lunch together. So that was nice. Back in 2015, we did share an office. That was horrible. I don't recommend that. Like at least get your own space if you're at work together. That was a lot harder times. But now that we have our own offices, we're like, okay, we have a little bit of time away from each other. But yeah, we do find ourselves, going home and still trying to talk about work and communicate about the hard times or the things that come up. And there's always a point where I'm like, okay, let's talk about our vacation or something else. And let's just get off that subject for a little while. So it does present its challenges for sure. And it's hard to leave work at work whenever we go home. So I feel like that's the hardest thing is we want to talk about work less now than, when we work separate jobs. So I was like, oh, honey, how was your day? How was work? But now I'm like, I don't want to hear about your work. We work together. So
I feel like couples that when they figure it out, they just build something so incredible and there's some kind of secret to it.
Yeah. What do you, and I have to ask this, on the flip side of that coin, what do you love the most about working together?
I feel like we really work well together on what we have very different styles of working and we also have very different opinions on things. But we're both, I feel like we collaborate very well to come together on certain things. There's a lot of times where he doesn't understand the marketing side of it and I have to bring him up to speed. If I weren't here and he was trying to run it without me, it would not go well, or vice versa. He's very savvy with the money and very savvy with the operation side. And if he weren't here, I'd probably spend all the money and not pay the bills. So I feel like just that balance between the two of us is really what works so well.
Did he come from finance or something?
He has a finance degree and he's got his master's. Have a finance degree. So we really use our degrees a lot in our job.
That's so great. You guys are like yin and yang and in a way that it works together for your business.
Absolutely. What is important to you and your husband about how you raise the children? I know we have a lot of things that are important to us, but what's most important to you?
There's several different things that are important, but I feel like the first and foremost is that they're not handed anything to them. They're not just given this life, that they don't just grow up thinking that, they can do whatever they want because that their mom and dad are going to pay for it. That I had to work and pay all my bills starting at 18. I moved out and went to college. I paid my own rent. I paid my sorority. I paid my car. I paid my phone and I did everything. Yeah. So I feel like that they have to know that they have to be able to work hard and do the things for themselves, that it's not going to just be handed to them. So we make them do chores. They have chores every single day. They complain every single day when they do them. But I'm like, I don't care if you're complaining. You're going to do this. And if they want something, they do have to earn it. They're not going to just be given, a new toy or a new video game. They have to work hard and they have to, save their money and then go in and buy it. So it's something that my son and my daughter do struggle with because they're 5 and 7. But my son now is like, okay, I'm saving my money for a car. I was like, good, go ahead and start saving it. So that and just also just, making sure that they have a good, strong relationship, with and foundation with their faith. We just switched them recently to back to a private school. They're getting that during the day. They're getting a lot more than they did with public school. And I really just want to make sure that they have a strong relationship with us and with their, with God, and that they really feel comfortable in, that relationship that they have, because today it's just, the world is crazy right now. And I really just want to make sure that they have someone to lean on and turn to and to get through the hard times.
I love that.
That's so good. Do you think any of them have the entrepreneurial bug? Do you see that in one of them?
My son always talks. We are building a house. We have 50 acres, and we are talking about growing pumpkins. He's like, "Yeah, I want to sell pumpkins on the side of the road, or goat cheese." And he's like, "Mom, you can sell wine." I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do that." So I feel like he's very interested in it. He wants to do something. He's always like, "Oh yeah, I'll start my own, website. I'll call it Blue Lily or whatever." So he's always talking about it. Now my daughter, she loves animals. She's like, "I want to be a veterinarian." I was like, "That's fine too. You can do that."
Yeah.
So we'll support them no matter what they want to do.
That's fantastic.
That's great.
I wanted to ask, because you've been through a lot and you did mention your faith, is there something like during the dark times or the hard times that actually I feel in life, our hardest times turn out to be the biggest blessings that makes us who we are? But when you're going through it, is there anything that you do? Is it prayer, meditation? Is there something that you can, because our audience is going through a lot right now. And I feel like you're a perfect example. Like you've gone through so much with your business and trying to have your third child. You've been through a lot. I mean, you're everything looks perfect on the outside, but you've been through a lot and you had to put yourself in that mindset to get through it.
Yeah, I don't know how. I've honestly have really been through a lot, and especially even like back in college with struggles of depression, and I currently do struggle still with anxiety. So, sometimes life can just be so overwhelming and so much, especially this last year. And it's to the point where I'm like, okay, I have to focus on me, mental and physical. I have to just do, if I have to say no to somebody, I have to say no to somebody. So me lately, especially, I've been trying to really just focus more on my health. I feel like that helps me overall, listening to, just soothing sounds, working out in the gym, drinking my green smoothies, things like that help my mind to feel better and my body, obviously, to feel better. But I don't meditate. I wish I could, but I am too busy body to sit still for 10 minutes at a time. Right. But definitely just listening. I've listened to podcasts. I listen to Clubhouse. I listen to things and really just try to take in information and inspirational, and just like listen to these thought leaders that can help me through the harder times, and to just really to train my mindset on being in a better place than, I don't really watch a lot of TV. I don't watch a lot of like gossip stuff. I don't really, read forums that are like negative. I try to just focus on more of the positive side.
That's so good, because, there's so many parallels with successful people that you can just like, oh yeah, we do that. Or somebody else I know that I was talking to does that. It's like, there's so many parallels with successful people. It's a formula, really, I think, in success. If you just model people that are already having success, you will eventually find success for yourself. And it's so important. And we have a lot of people that listen here who they have their own businesses. A lot of them are online. What are some actionable steps you would tell them? Maybe along the lines of marketing or staying true to their brand or whatever it might be. What are some actionable steps advice you might give some of them who are just starting their businesses out and trying to find traction?
I would say to really hone in on your customers that you already have, just to really like get to know what they want, what they like, what they buy, and then go after similar customers. So really like to find your niche and to go after that and to market to them in a way that they respond. It's a lot of testing, a lot of seeing what works for your brand and what people respond to. But once you figure that out, just keep emulating it and going after, more customers that are similar, and to really just be consistent. I feel like that's the biggest thing that a lot of people don't understand, is how important consistency is with your brand and marketing.
Right. They give up in the beginning.
And you built this incredible tribe too. Right from the beginning, it seemed like, I think, would you think that was your Facebook group that really kind of helped you with that? Or were you doing a blog at the time too? A lot of people were doing blogs at that time.
Yeah, no, I just started my blog like a month ago.
Oh, really?
So I was like, I feel like I should probably start one now, but no, I didn't do it in the beginning. Yeah, so I feel like the Facebook group for sure helped kicked it off, but I really focused heavily on growing that Facebook page and getting people excited and doing fun giveaways and, taking them along for the ride. And I feel like I have really just created this, like you said, tribe that people, they love the lifestyle. They want to be out there taking these cute photos and having a good time and wearing their pink lily and everything. And I feel like it's just, my goal with my marketing tactics was to really just market to every woman and not just, I'm not a high-end expensive clothing place. It's not unattainable. It's very affordable. And I feel like with that, we made sure that all women felt that they could wear it and it wasn't out of reach. So I feel like that really just helped to elevate the brand and to get all women excited about it.
Yeah. I was looking at your website last night and I picked out, I think, 15 different, maybe more. I gotta go through it again and shave it down a bit, but just really beautiful pieces that you could dress up, dress down, throw on a Gucci belt or not, whatever. You've done such a fabulous job. Fabulous.
Now, are the products branded Pink Lily on the tag, or are they? Oh, they are. So they're all your. Oh man, that even makes it harder. That just because you're coming up with your whole line. I know what that's like. I was watching you walk around the warehouse, and I'm like, I used to have to do that.
That's where he came from,
and that gives me anxiety just thinking about it. Oh, I got a you got so many choices, and it's like, oh my gosh. Plus marketing and all the other stuff after that.
The warehouse side is the side I feel like I'm the least experienced with. Obviously, that's why we have some Amazon warehouse. They came from Amazon. They're great. They're leading our warehouse team now because I'm like, I need to focus on this marketing and designing. But yeah, the warehouse, it's huge right now. So we have 2. We're operating out of 2 right now.
What about your cut and sew program? It looks like I mean, you have so many different products. We had cut and sew, but we were mostly a t-shirt company. The cut and sew challenging.
Your blood pressure is through the roof right now.
Cut and sew, man. That was my biggest headache was cut and sew.
We have screen print too here and direct to garment printing. We have monograms. We have all.
They personalize stuff too.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I said after I sold my company, I said I would never do clothing again. Yeah. Last 2 questions. And these are important questions to us because it's certain. And I think to all of our audience, and we ask them to everybody. What's a business book
that
you would leave with your kids to help them take on the world, and besides the Bible
or your own book if you're writing one?
Yeah, I don't know about a business book
or a life book, any life book or any book that would help them.
It'll help.
I always read them. I Love You Forever.
Yeah, no, one of our guests recommended The Giving Tree, so I love that. That's perfect.
We've read that several times too. I would probably say a book I would write for them because I everything I've ever read has never been spot on with everything. So I don't feel like there's something that's 100%, especially now in today's times, that would be what I would want to leave for them.
Breaking news. Are you writing a book?
No, I do want to. I want to.
You got to write a book, Tori.
I got to find the time.
You have to. What you've done is incredible, and people get a lot of inspiration out of that.
We'll be buying one. Hi, sweetie. Thank you.
We all have a limited time on Earth, and we want our kids to go on to be their best. If you were going to leave a piece of information with them, what's something that you would tell them to help them going forward with their life?
I would say that one thing that took me so long to figure out was there's no right or wrong way to do life. So I feel like for so long, you think that there's just this expectation of how you're supposed to be and the life that you're supposed to live. And that's not true. They should follow what they want to follow in life and do what makes them happy because, like you said, the time is so short and there's no right or wrong. If there's something out there that makes them happy, that they should just go for it and try it and do it and, test out what they want in life. And, that's just it. There's not anything out there that's wrong. So if they do what they love, then that's what they need to do in life.
So wise.
That's so perfect. That's perfect. That's all we want, right? We all want to be happy, and we just have to find where our happiness lies. It's sad that sometimes people go through life living and doing things that they hate doing. And I'm so glad that you and we get to live a life that we love.
That's such a good example for our children. Like,
Yeah.
you're such a phenomenal example for those children. Like,
Thank you so much.
They're going to do amazing things.
Yeah.
I hope
They
so.
will. They will.
They will. Absolutely. They have great examples. Both you and Chris are great examples of who they will be in the future. And you guys both have great personalities. So we know they're going to be great kids.
I appreciate it.
Can you tell us where our audience can find you? And also, you have a course coming up. So can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, so I have a boutique training group currently on Facebook, and I'm launching several different boutique courses. One's going to be how to start an online boutique, and then from there, how to scale. So they can find all that information on my website, which is torigerbig.com. And they can find me on Instagram at Tori Gerbig. That's where I typically try to share my stories and links to my website, and just to keep everyone in the know of what's happening.
That's
Cool.
fantastic.
And of course, Pink Lily, be sure to check out her website.
And go
She's done
shopping.
incredible things. You got to learn more about Tori's story. It really is incredible. And we appreciate you coming on and spending the time with us, Tori. And thank Chris for sharing you.
Yeah, and we'll link everything below.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, hon.
Thank you. God bless. Take care.
Bye.
Well, if that isn't inspiration, I don't know what is. She's built an incredible brand.
And
You know,
fast,
she's
too.
Fast. It started
How
out in
quick
the
was that?
trunk of her car. And, she's at the peak right now. And it's only getting bigger. And she has a brand new baby. And she's just juggling. And it's incredible to watch her on social media, guys. She's phenomenal.
Yeah, be sure to follow her, Tori Gerbig, Gerbig. I think that, how fast did she grow that company? It's great that she had the forethought to bring in like people from Amazon and other businesses that, big companies that have, dealt with growth like that and that are dealt with the same issues that she was probably dealing with, because she really didn't have a lot of experience like that. So it's inspiring that, somebody out there can start a company and not know a ton about it, but as it grows, just bring in the right people. That it's smart that she had the forethought to do that.
What an incredible team she has, from social media to the people that have built the company alongside with her. I applaud her a million times over.
Yeah, she's and she left us. We wanted to pass this on because I think this is pretty special. If you like her stuff, Pink Lily, be sure to go check out her website, because I think all the women, I know you loved everything on there.
I already
so
took advantage
yeah,
of it.
she already bought stuff. So
I bought a couple things for the resort next week, so I'm excited to wear that.
yeah, so be sure to go check out her page, her personal page too, torigerbig.com. And if you go to Pink Lily, you can get a discount by using Tori20, the number 20, Tori20, Tori20, and you'll get 20% off. So be sure to go check that out. Thank you guys for joining us for this incredible episode of the Pretty and Punk podcast. We hoped you really got something from it. We know there's a lot of people out there, other entrepreneurs that, could use this type of, want to hear from other people that have gone through the same issues that they're probably going through. So be sure to share this, because a lot of them are your friends. Or if you know anybody specific, just send it straight to them and give them that little something so that they can feel like, that they're supported, because they know that they might be going through something and that now you're sending them something to help them with their issues. So be sure to send that out and share it.
Yes, and while you are living your best mom life and your best dad life, juggling the babies just like I am, I've got the baby in my lap, I'm nursing, I'm closing the show. Tag us on Instagram doing your thing so we can put the spotlight on you. Tag us at Pretty and Punk Podcast on Instagram stories or TikTok. And when you leave a review, we share that with the babies, and they absolutely love it, especially Daniel. He just loves to hear every single review. So you could tag him too.
Yeah, be sure to. He loves it. So if you mention him in there, he'll really really gets a kick out of that. So he loves listening to all those reviews.
And we appreciate it from the bottom of our heart.
Absolutely.
It means the world to us.
And you can contact us at Pretty and Punk Podcast on Instagram or prettyandpunk.com. You can email us there. And
Yes, and keep sharing your stories. Keep asking your questions. You never know. This show might just be created around something that you send us. So keep them coming. We appreciate them.
Yes, because we've done that before. And we just want to leave you with this. Remember, life doesn't happen to you.
It happens for you. God bless you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for listening. Please subscribe. Please subscribe.